There you go. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's a terrific Tuesday in Sun City, Florida. Happy to have you join us. We have some really great music going on today, so I think we'll be having some fun together. And we did Can't Help Lovin' Dat Man last week. And hopefully if you didn't know it, you YouTubed it, I hope.
Yep.
I kind of modeled what I did after Annie Lennox. But we did talk about starting with the easy button and using the Lush Choir for section A. And then we went back and got Jazz Club or whatever style that you used, although I thought that really seemed to work the best after I listened to it. And then we used the Lush categories. We used some Lush strings and some Lush brass, and they're very, very beautiful. You know, something to be said about Lush brass. I remember when that came out, and I called it the elegant brass because we always had like loud brass, we had strong brass, we had sometimes screeching brass. But when the Lush came out, that was a nice change because it was really more of an elegant brass. So I like that very much, that it was just a totally different toned down type of brass sound, which really works with a lot of different types of music. So hopefully you were able to enjoy that. And when we went to the bridge, that's where we changed our sound again, and then came back for the ending, of course, because it's ABA, right? Or AABA is the format. And then we went back to the brass for a bigger sound at the end, but still Lush brass, elegant brass, like it a lot. So who would like to play for us today?
I have a Joanie.
Go for it. Great. Nice. Very nice. Nice job. Good changes. Love the C suspended chord. Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good.
By the way, I used smoky strings as the style.
Right. Right. Yeah, that worked fine. It's a little peppy, I will say, but
Yeah, I like them peppy.
it was good. It worked real well for that. So that's the thing is, if 10 people same song, you're going to hear it 10 different ways
Exactly.
because we have so much variety on these virtual orchestras. There's so many different styles that'll work for all kinds of music. So excuse me, we are not very limited at all. Actually, we're more like limitless in the possibilities. Because remember, and we'll talk about this in the future, but not only do you have the styles you have, but if you edit the style, which we will talk about doing that, when you edit the style and change the sounds that are in the background, you've just created a totally new style. And the unique thing about that is when you do that, when you edit your style, which we will talk about doing that in the ensuing weeks, when you do that, you've created a style that no one else has but you. And I think that's kind of fun.
I
Try
find
it
that
out.
sometimes there's too many styles to choose from because I spend hours going through them all, trying to pick which one I like the best for a song.
Yeah, well, that all that means is there's a lot of them that work.
Exactly.
So the question, and interesting, I don't know if it's for you guys, but I know for me, the one I like the best today might not be the one I like the best tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm always grateful for choices. Someone else, please. Oh, you can't disappoint me. This was a great tune.
Sorry, Joni, I had my mic off. This is Lavon. I have it.
Great, Lavon. nice ending. Nice way to end it. Very good. And what style was that, Levon?
I use the slow, easy blues.
Easy blues. Okay. Okay, good. And did you intentionally make section B in cut time?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. That was different. And you
Good.
were able, and when you got back to theme A, you were able to switch back to full time. So that was neat. Very good. Anyone else? Wow, you're so quiet today. I came in like gangbusters this morning. Don't ask me why. I think because I got a good night's sleep. All righty. Well, then
Joanie,
let's
can I ask you a question?
please do.
While I was fooling around this week, I came across a chord on the organ that I had never seen in the display before, and it was a G no 3. And
Yeah.
you know, like, what is that chord and when is it used?
I've seen it come up and in the screen from time to time, and it basically is telling you to drop the third.
Yeah, because if you, for instance, on the G chord, if you play the G, the D, and then G, you get a G no 3. And the same with the C. If you play a C,
Because you
and
don't have a B in there, and the B
right,
would be the third.
and
That's
you have to
correct.
play that high note again too. Like for the G, you got to play the low G and then the high G with B in between in order to get it.
Yeah, and
So I'm just wondering,
pretty much
why
most
would you
people
use
won't
that
do
chord?
that. I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know
Because
the
I've never
answer to that.
seen it in music.
No, I've never seen it in music either, but I've certainly seen it on the screen quite a few times.
Okay.
And I kind of look at it because I don't really pay attention to what my left hand does.
Right.
And so if I see that pop up in the screen, I try to quickly look at my left hand to see what it's doing. It's got a mind of its own, let's put it that way.
Because that's quite a reach. You got to play a full octave
That's a full
in order
octave. So,
to make it
like I
happen.
said, most people will not probably do that, especially because majority of hobbyists are easy play chord players. So, yeah, the fancier ones we don't have to be overly concerned with. Has anyone else seen that in the screen? A no 3?
No.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't be concerned. I did, when I have seen it, I have been able to hear that the root, meaning the name of the chord, is still in the bass. So I don't know how the computer knows to identify no third. You'd have to be playing full chords and purposely leave the third out, because if you're playing single chord and you play a G, it's going to add the other 2 notes.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have
So
to play the full 3 notes
you would
in order
have
to
to
make it happen.
purposely do it. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I just don't know when you would want to do that or why. That's what surprised me.
I don't know either. I can check that out a little bit and ask. It could be that that's used more in jazz music. I'm not sure, because
Okay.
I didn't ever study jazz music. So, but I'll ask some of my colleagues about that and see what they say.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on that song? No? Okay. All right. Well, this week we're going to Opus 1. And This is easier than some of the songs we've done in the past, the arranging part. Um, I haven't done a lot, so I think you'll find it to be an easier week. However, what isn't easy for Opus 1, Opus 1 is similar to In the Mood in that it's a rhythmic song. So if you don't play rhythmically correct, or the same theme appears if you look at the beginning of the notes, it's E, D, G, F sharp, E, D, G, F sharp. If you don't play the right amount, you'll come up short and it won't sound realistically like the song. So that's one thing to consider. It is rhythmic. Doesn't have to be fast, although it's a kind of a swing big band type of tune. But what I will say is, if you take a look at the fourth line, which for me is where you're playing two chords in each measure, that could be hurdle number one. And the reason I say that is because if you hesitate, you're going to get behind with the four chords.
Joanie, what are the lyrics that go with that? I have a different piece of music I'm looking at.
It's the first ending, that start, everyone humming the thing.
Okay. Fling. Okay, I've got it. That'll start everyone humming the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your G and B flat diminished? Are those, or do I have a different key? Mine may be.
You might be in a different key.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a B flat diminished anywhere.
Okay. I have a different sheet, a different copy.
What key is your music in?
G.
Well, that's what we're in. Where does the G diminished come in at?
Right over the word every. It goes from that on that measure that you're talking about with the G. That'll start, and then B flat diminished every one, and then A minor seventh humming the thing, and then D9.
Let me check this out. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to kick you around there. So I have a G, and then I have a B flat.
Diminished.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Okay.
The diminished. I didn't put it in there. I played the A, but that's a good chord.
Okay.
The second hurdle that you may experience is on ending number 2. And it's not going to be a hurdle with your left hand, but it could be a hurdle with your right, because you have to play 9 notes in a row. Like, there's no breaks. As you can see, they are all eighth notes. Whether you play them as swinging eighth notes or regular eighth notes is up to you. But you have to get them all in there. And I see that as maybe causing a little stumble when you start out.
Are the lyrics on that one, everyone is swinging today?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, each note is a syllable of a lyric.
Yes. So you get no leadway for error there.
Yeah.
It has to go as it goes. Okay, so let's take a look at some chords first.
Play it, Joanie, first.
Pardon?
Could you play it first, please?
Sure. I'm going to use Frank and the Count because, oh no, I do have got swing on this instrument. I forgot about that. I know it as Frank and the Count, but I tried Got Swing and that was pretty clever. So let me try that first. Oops, wrong, Joanie. You ever touch the wrong button?
Are you going to be in Got Swing or Frank and the Count?
I'm gonna do Got Swing first,
Okay.
just because it's much newer.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So I want something that's kind of perky in my sounds. I did talk to you about using your big band category setups because it does have the sounds in that have a little more of a shortness to them, which is what we want. So let's check this out and then we'll go from there. I just love this intro. Okay. Now, in that case, I played it the way it was written. If I go back, and I'll run over here to Frank and the Count for a second so you can hear it a little bit different. Let's check the speed first. That's just a little bit too fast. But sometimes, depending on the way you know it, you might accent on a different note than the way it's rhythmically written on the page. So I kind of know this more like this. So you hear a little difference in the accent there?
Right.
Yes.
Yes. What tempo was that, Joanie?
Down to 125.
I like that. I listened to this on YouTube, and the Clark sisters were singing it
Uh-huh.
at about 150. It was really
Wow.
fast. Yeah, really fast.
Yeah, but you can't play it really fast, though, especially when we're learning it.
No.
So the third hurdle, if you will, is the bridge. For two reasons. Sometimes people don't know the bridge, so that could be a factor. These songs kind of that we've been doing are like in the industry that I'm in, they're pretty standard. That back in the day when we were in a mall and pumped the front and get people tapping their foot and whatnot. So these are standards, but that doesn't mean for a hobbyist that everybody knows it. So the bridge is a little bit different because it does use accidentals, number one, it uses some flats there. And the other thing is the three lines of the bridge use chords that you might less frequent.
Mhm.
So if you're not used to, like, at the beginning of the bridge, which the lyrics would be Opus 1. So that's okay. On Opus O, there's a G minor chord or a G minor 7th chord there. I played a B flat because that's how I know it. And then when I go to line 3, which is the words are hey, hey, it's. You see that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I've never heard that in a version. I crossed out that whole measure.
I noticed that. Yes.
I couldn't make that work for me.
Did you cross it out or sustain something through there?
No, I
You just
crossed
you
it
just
out and used a fill
and just used a fill. Okay.
because it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know it that way. And I tried that several times in the different versions I was doing, and every time I got to that measure, I didn't like it. I just finally said, you know what? I'm the conductor, so I'm just gonna X that out. So that's what I did. Through that first measure, I just crossed it out. And you're not losing any part of the melody, obviously, because look what they're doing. They're probably chanting, hey, hey. So,
Mhm.
and that gives you time because we did a B flat chord the previous line, and then you have a C minor or C minor 7th chord, and then we go back to a B flat, which that should be okay, and then we go to a G7, and it gets you time. It gives you a measure to place your finger above the D as in dog flat, because we don't play D flat very often. And remember, on your screen, D flat will come up as C sharp.
Right.
But because we're using flats in the bridge, the actual real name of that chord is D flat, not C sharp. But that's how the computer reads it. So if you see C sharp, you didn't make a mistake. It's the same chord. And then once your hand is on the D flat, then you have a little bit of time to be preparing for the E flat minor. And so those 3 lines might be foreseeable to be a little bit more unfamiliar to you, and that's okay. That's okay. That'll just keep you getting more and more agile with chords that maybe you haven't used as much in the past. Now, when you get down, yes,
Joanie, that E flat minor that you mentioned, what lyric is it over?
got
What? That's what I wondered. Okay.
got to swing, not sway.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, on the next measure, I'm at the bottom of my page anyway. Maybe is the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I did a fill
Yes.
on B because remember, accidentals don't carry in easy play music. So if the first note, and it is a D flat, D is in dog, the next note says D, they mean it. That's Hal Leonard. If you were reading standard notation, the second D would have a natural sign in front of it because symbols carry. So if I have 2 notes in a row and one's marked with a flat, the next note is typically going to be a flat, but not in Hal Leonard music. Not the way it works. So on that D, regular D note that I played, I hit the fill and I held the fill and let it go an extra measure. It's a good time to do it because it's a great fill, number 1. Number 2 is it gives you time to A, change your sound, and B, turn the page. So you're busy. So let the fill handle your work for you. The fill's quite often like your assistant. Call them when you need them, and they will be there for you. That's the great part. So I took an extra measure there. And then on my last page, which the lyrics will be on, this is on line 2 for me. Ray Anthony, that's a C7 chord mark there. I played a G minor or G minor 7th. On the next line, Never a Doubt is the lyrics. I played an A minor chord instead of an A7 because that's the way I knew it.
Could you go into A minor 7th in that next measure after that? There never is a doubt, A minor, and then you'll knock yourself out and go into A minor 7, or just leave it at A minor.
I don't know.
I have it as D7 on mine.
What did you ask me if I go from A minor to A minor 7th? No. That A minor has to resolve to a D7 right there, or else you won't have the resolution before you go into the G chord.
Okay. So
no,
right above,
you need a D7 there. Knock is the lyric.
right, D7. Okay.
D is in dog. So I think that there's probably other big bandish type rhythms, but it is peppy. The two I felt worked the best were Got Swing and Frank and the Count. So I'm going to do it now again with Frank and the Count so you can hear that fill, because it's definitely a lot different than the Got Swing fill. And I'll just turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. I am on big band category setups.
And is the tempo going to be about 125 again?
Yes.
In that area, okay.
And on this, as we talked about, the elegant brass, well, I refer to it as elegant brass. That's the Ray Anthony brass. And that is actually setup 0 or preset 0, depending on the language of your instrument. So that's what I'm going to start with. So here we go. Take a listen. If you want a challenge, I'm just going to encourage you. I felt like that was holding me back a little bit, that 125. So I'm going to check this out. So that's at 143. I was a little more comfortable with that speed. You may not be, especially if you don't know the tune or haven't learned the tune to find the notes, then you're not going to be comfortable with that. Stay at 125 if you're using Frank and the Count. And as far as Got Swing went, I don't know what that came on at, so I got to find it here. So Got Swing comes on at, it's a little bit slower. It's coming on at 112. I would probably put it up to maybe 123. You don't want to go too fast with the Got Swing, because the Got Swing, the fill is so great and intense that if it's going too fast, you'll lose it. Here it is. Fill. So you don't want to lose it by going too fast. But I go in increments of 10. If I feel like something's too slow or too fast, I know a lot of people say you try increments of 5, but for a hobbyist ear, increments of 5, you can't really hear. Now, let me just back up and hope that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So on the screen, the tempo number comes up. It's referred to as beats per minute. Okay. And so a lot of people recommend, well, if it's too fast, go down by 5. Or if it's too slow, go up by 5. I don't think that a hobbyist can hear the difference in a 5-point range that well. My ear can, but I don't think that's very easy for a hobbyist. So I always tell you to move in terms of 10 points. So it came on at 112 and I'm at 123 right now. So I always jump it by 10. Either way.
Okay.
Because if you can't play it at the speed it is, whatever the speed and whatever the song, I'm not talking about anything specifically, but if you can't play it at the speed it is, making it 5 numbers slower isn't going to make a big difference for your fingers. It's just not. Going down 10, yeah. Now that might be copable for your fingers, but 5 isn't that different. So you're still going to feel like I'm rushed, I'm behind, I can't keep up. So always initiate yourself in changing a rhythm speed. Always initiate yourself in points of 10. So I thought we got off kind of easy today.
Yeah, not too many changes.
I didn't do a whole lot to it, no, because that's one of those tunes that, stands on its own, it does its own thing. Really, the thing that makes it for us is being able to have a virtual orchestra with these backgrounds. Just fabulous. Every time I sit down and play, I'm impressed. And that is something to be said.
Mm-hmm.
So Doug is looking for a Hal Leonard copy of this song, and he put his email in the chat. If you could go ahead and help him out with that, that would be great.
Thanks.
Might be a little easier to read too, Doug. What do you have? You have standard notation? Is that what you're using?
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh my. That's
Aren't you ambitious?
no, and I'm just not going to even try it. I can get some of it, but just some of it's way over my head. So no.
No, you'll do fine with the easy play. If someone would go ahead and send that to Doug, that would be great.
That's great. That's great. Thanks.
So I think.
What I'm learning with all of this, with working with Fletcher, working with you and Joe and everybody, I say I don't know a song, and then I listen to it and I go, oh, I know that song. Right. I know a lot of music. I just don't know the title of it. It seems like. So
I'm in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
And when I do know a title, I can't think of it at the time.
Well,
if you hum me the first
too.
couple notes and I know the tune, I can play it.
Oh,
but
wow.
I am not good with titles at all.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing.
I can figure out melody and chords. So that's what's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can't remember the title, someone else can tell me.
Yeah.
That's what I figure.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes I remember when I was first playing concerts for Lowry, sometimes I'd get up there to do my thing, and I'd forget the title. And we had a couple hundred people in the audience back then in Chicago, and I would ask the audience, I'm going to play this arrangement for you, and when I'm finished, can you tell me what it's called? And notoriously, people just knew titles, and I was like, that
Yeah.
is so great that you know that, and thank you for helping me. I still have a tune I'm trying to find that nobody seems to know, that I still don't know the title of. I have no idea, but so sometimes you have to place your introduction uniquely.
Yeah.
You don't know what to call the tune, or maybe you know who did the tune, but you don't know the name of the tune. So, when Duke Ellington did this, take a listen. You'll know it when you hear it, and then not say the title. Like, I think when I first put up Opus 1, I'm sure there were several people who said, I have no idea what that is.
That was me. That was me.
But then when you hear it, you go, oh, yeah, I know that tune.
There's supposed to be an app available on your phone where you can sing or play the tune and it will tell you what the song is.
Yeah, that was a craze back several years ago, many years ago, when it first came out, that app. And if you could play it, it was supposedly to name it. I didn't have a whole lot of success with that, but so I didn't do a lot of changes because the song A stands on its own. That's important. And the second reason is because I think that you have 3 hurdles to learn to make it go smoothly. And so there was no reason to create more challenges for you, in my opinion. Any questions? It's a fun piece of music. And the thing I think you'll like about it, especially in the beginning, is it plays the same notes over and over and over.
Joanie,
And in today's music, yes.
Joanie, I remember this by the Mills Brothers.
Oh, okay.
And I think they did sing the Hey Hey.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like their hey hey.
Well, that goes back to the 40s and 50s.
That's probably why.
Hey, and Joni, speaking of the hey, hey, did you lose one or both of those measures again?
Just one.
Okay. All right.
Just the hey hey.
Yeah. Oh, see, and I have it over 2 measures.
How can that be?
Well, I just the one I have has it G augmented 7th with a hey, and a C9 with a hey, and an F9 sharp 5 with a hey. Yeah. So that's why I need the howlin. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
They have a different chord for each hey.
In that measure that I took out,
Yeah.
the word it's is a G note.
Thank you.
That's an important note to play. That's part of the melody. It leads you into its Opus 1. You need that G note.
Right.
And then at the bottom of my page, maybe the words are maybe if, and then I turn the page, Mr. Les Brown. Well, if is a D note. D is in dog. That's an important melody note too. You can't leave that out. Any other questions? No?
Nope.
That's good. Do you like it?
I do.
I like it.
Good.
And I'm gonna play around with some stuff, but I really like that got swing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used that before. So this looks.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the most amazing rhythms and intros. One of my favorites for sure.
I have a question, and maybe this is something that I should ask you personally, but when you talk about something between cut time and full time, can you play an entire song in cut time?
Yes.
Okay. Like All I Ask of You from Phantom of the Opera. I'm having trouble with the meter on that. It comes up at 75 because I'm playing around with it. And I just think 75 even. No, it comes up a little more than that, but it seems to be too fast. And so I'm increasing the tempo, but slowing, I'm doing that cut time thing to it. And I don't know if that's appropriate or not. I'll call you separately.
Yeah,
Or
call me,
I'll,
because cut
yeah.
time means you double it, not shrink it.
Oh, well, what does it mean when you shrink it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess I refer to that as halftime.
Oh, okay.
When
Oh, all right.
I cut it in half.
So halftime is to cut, but cut
Oh.
time is to double, huh?
No, cut time is to double. Halftime is to cut it in half.
Yeah, to cut in half.
Right.
Okay. So halftime is to cut in half. To cut it means double time in cut time. Okay. And then there's full time, which is just regular.
So if you're playing at 60,
yeah,
and you play it in cut time, you're actually playing at 120.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Makes sense?
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
You may be getting a call from me this afternoon.
Okay. That's fine. So I hope you have a terrific Tuesday. Have a blessed day and have some fun with Opus 1 and your rhythms, of course. Experiment around with that. And then I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday on Zoom. Okay?
Great.
Thanks, Joanie.
Sounds good. Thank you very
Joanie.
much.
Thank you for being
Joanie.
here. Had a lot of fun with you guys. We'll see you soon.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.